Okay, so sorry about that. We are back, and I'll wait for you guys to come back in the chat, and then we'll talk about what we're trying to talk about before. Little system glitch there, trying to share a picture and everything cut out. So let's wait for everyone to jump back in. And hi, everybody. I don't know what happened there, but all I know is that I am not going to try and post that picture again. Yes. Shannon, what's going on? Thanks for your comments the other day, Shannon, for your talk about mentoring and just the process with the cadets. That was a key piece of the conversation. So, hey, Kara. Kara, if you want to join me on screen, you're always welcome. I know this is usually like your admin time. Give me a thumbs up if you want to join us for the chat. The topic originally was feeling fully supported, and yeah, so that's what I want to talk about today. If you were here on Friday, I was talking with Carissa, and we kind of had our part two of our conversation, but really it's a part 2.5 because she was a live guest on a freestyle like this the other day. So we were talking last time about Pilates and like this intersection of like hypertrophy and strength, and how we can use our Pilates work for different things. And it was a bit of a controversial topic, and it was fine. I like to just have these conversations. So we did that. By contrast, the second conversation we had was more around her history and her background. And she shared about an autoimmune condition that she has that impacted her, and painted this powerful picture of what her pain feels like. And I had never experienced that. So it was a place for me where I was really just listening to get an understanding of what that felt like, because I don't have that pain, or I don't have those things. And a lot of our clients come in and we can empathize to the best of our ability, but we really can't sympathize with what they're going through. And the word picture that helped me was saying, like, when you bump like your elbow or your knee, or you hit your funny bone and you get that kind of nerve kind of pain, like shooting up and down. And she explained that that's how she would feel when she's doing an exercise, when you're trying to exert energy from a muscle and getting this negative nerve energy, so to speak, when she's doing things. So you don't get a sensation of whether the muscle's working or if you're just getting just this acute pain. And then she found Pilates, and it was within Pilates that she was doing exercises where she didn't feel that pain. She felt muscles activated. She felt good the next day, and that changed the course of her life in many ways. So that word picture of what that pain feels like really helped me in terms of just how I help my clients who deal with chronic pain. Gives us more vocabulary, gives us an idea of when to hold back. I know, like for Kara, as a personal trainer, group boot camp instructors, you want to push, you want to be sensitive, you want to see where people are, you want to see them doing with good form, but you always want to see them getting better and challenging themselves. So we create this space where we can challenge people to do more and to get that extra rep or the extra pound or whatever it is. And I do that too. Obviously, this is what we do. But it's a different conversation that you're having with the body when there's chronic pain involved. And I was saying, like, full disclosure, when we're talking about it, there's times when I've had clients where I have given them exercises and it looks good, it looks safe, it looks like they're doing well, they're comfortable with it, they're listening to their body, they do the next round, we move on with our lives, and then they come back and we went too far the other day. I felt it here and here, and for the next 6 days, I couldn't move. And I feel like bad for a second. Like I feel like, man, like I missed it. I didn't pick up on the cue that would have helped them to avoid 5 days of discomfort. Have you ever been like that? Have you ever felt that? Like I was just saying, like you want to feel like, you want to have pride in the fact that you get it and that you're sensitive and you're not one of those like pushy trainers who just like make people puke every workout. And that's the only time that you're doing a full workout, unless you pass out. Like, I mean, I've done that. I've been there. There's athletes and there's people that I would push them to that point still. But that conversation with the body, with someone that has conditions, recovering from an injury. I have a gentleman who has like a condition as well, who he's determined to get back to where he was. And we were doing exercises, we were doing like a lot of chair work and a lot of mat work. And I thought it was safe because it's all mat work. And then we're getting into these hamstring exercises, feeling the right muscles, everything's good, feeling strong, sweating, feel good about the workout. Comes back, he's like, my knee was hurting me, my hip flexor was hurting me all week, I could barely walk up the stairs. He was recruiting other muscles to do the work, so it looked right, but it really wasn't, and he missed those cues. I'm not saying all this to scare people into like making their workout soft for everybody, but I just want to just have a conversation with you all about listening. How do we fully support our people when they're coming in and they're recovering from something, they're living with something, whatever it is, and how do you navigate that? You can either just write in the comment section, or you can request to join me on the screen. Pilates Playa Wellness, Dervla, good to see you. Stacy, good to see you. Or if you just want to talk about something else, you can come on. They'd love to have you on. David, I was trying to show the post of you doing your rollerblading joint thing, and the screen just crashed. So don't want to do that. But so if you want to join me, Dervla, Kara, if you want to join me, jump on screen. Request to join, I'll bring you on. So yeah, Kara, you've been there. Anyone else been there where you thought that you were safe enough and you still hurt your person? Because when we're talking about this too, like I might put the post up afterwards, and you can see Carissa was just like so extremely compassionate with me. Like she almost wanted to save me from myself when I said that, because we're coming from that place of understanding that they understand their bodies. We've educated them to know their bodies, but sometimes this is a new stimulus and something they're not familiar with. So even with their best intentions and their best intentions, they hurt themselves. So I don't know. Reading Kara's comments here, says, with folks with chronic pain, I try to make one change progression at a time. Sometimes we do too much, and then it's hard to know which movement triggered the pain. Yes, exactly. That I've noticed that as well. Like the layers of an exercise, make them slow and so far apart that you know exactly what piece of the puzzle was helpful and was hurtful. Document it, all that stuff, right? Carissa was asking me, how do I handle clients that have those chronic pains or have those different things? And really, I just came back to listening. When you don't have a frame reference, all you can do is listen. Ask questions, be curious, explore, and listen for feedback. Listen with your hands, listen with your eyes, all that stuff. Yes? Yes. Kara, I saw your, ask a lot of questions, yes. I saw your garage door and these jokers in your neighborhood and what's going on there. It's crazy. Matthew, what's going on? And Dervla, I haven't seen you in a while. I'd love to, you want to come on and just like talk about how your studio's doing. Opening a studio during a pandemic is always joy, so yes. Stacy, Pilates Institute of SoCal, saying, but what if, and maybe it's a stretch, it's not the workout, but it's the emotional trauma that is triggering the pain. Right. That is exactly it. Sorry, let me get to Kara's comments here. Sorry, juggling a lot of balls right now, so can't come on screen. That's totally fine. I'm feeling a bit fragile from again. Understood. All good. No, we're cheering for you as always. Follow Kara's K-Fitness Toronto and just check out what's going on in her world. Hey, Tasha. But, yes. Yeah, we don't want to see that. Fly Wellness. When you're done, if you want to come and give us a shout out, yes. And Tammy can totally speak to that emotional pain piece that Stacey was talking about a minute ago. Let's talk about that. So once again, Applies Institute SoCal was saying, but what if, and maybe this is a stretch, but it's not the workout, but it's the emotional trauma that is triggering the pain. I used that example the other day. There's a gentleman that I'm working with, and everything seems like it's going fine in his world. He's recovering, he's on track, everything's going good, and then we're going through some exercises, and he is having difficulty with the movements that we have been doing over the last few weeks. So I wasn't even exploring new movements or new layers or building blocks of what we've been doing. We're doing the stuff that he's familiar with and which are safe for him, and he was having difficulty with the movements. And the longer that we talked about it, I realized that it really was an emotional thing where he had received some news that he wasn't clear to travel, and he was really looking forward to his trip, but now because of his condition, doctors didn't give him clearance to travel. Therefore, he's back in the studio today doing his thing with bad news on his mind about the fact that his condition, which we're here for, is causing him to not be able to do the things that he loves to do. That's a baseline thing which our people go through, where it seems like it's not really related, and it is a familiar movement, and it shouldn't really impact a hamstring stretch, but you can see everything's just balled up in his body because the things are on his head. And then everything else you carry with that. I can't work, I can't do this, my kids see me sick, whatever it is, you're carrying all these things, and those all impact the workout. And that was even with it, like I said, those are safe exercises for him, and it still had that impact, right? So, and reading Applies Wellness, but finally have some amazing new teachers and need to get them filled up. Indonesian and Ukrainian fully certified. Okay, good stuff. Sorry, I'm really we're kind of having a couple conversations here. So Applies Wellness was just talking about her new studio that is still in growth. So yeah, if you get a chance to jump on after, that'd be amazing. Or we definitely need to get you on again just to get an update. Tammy's comment about the movement patterns too, and emotional pain, all those things tie into it. Asking so many questions ad nauseum, just get as much information as possible to inform how you're going to move them. It's good. I don't know if this is an overthinking thing too, right? Like, I mean, let's be real about it. Like, there's times when you can just go in and say, okay, what can you do today? Okay, let's just do that. Let's add on to that. Let's build with it. Be inquisitive, be curious, and just flow with it. Don't overthink it. This is a charter member of Overthinkers Anonymous talking to you right now. So I get it. And that's why we're having this conversation, because there's this sweet spot. There's this balance between all of those things, right? So many questions asked. Any other Overthinkers Anonymous charter members alongside me? Hey, Carrie. Here's the other thing. This is almost like just a recap of Friday. One of the things that we were talking about was the fact that, oh, sorry, one second here. Hi, Kara. Halifax is in the house, sort of, kind of, yes. Okay, so this is the thing. So this is the other thing that she was talking about. The way that Carissa explained this was, she looks within her body like she is fine. Much like mental health stuff, your physical body looks fine, but you're battling something. So with her autoimmune disease and the condition and everything that comes with that, she looks, as she says, fit-ish, strong-ish, whatever. So people have this assumption that they're going to come into her studio, into her space, and just get like, you know, that great booty workout or that great core workout or whatever the Inferno Pilates, flavor of the day Pilates that is going to happen. They're just going to get pounded by some crazy workout because they have this super fit blonde girl in front of them teaching Pilates. And as she was saying that, like, they don't know what I've gone through. They don't know the pain that I feel in my body, how having hypermobile joints and having to recover or lie down, just feel like I need to just sit down today and not do anything. They don't know that when they come in. And it's like, hi, welcome to my world. That is called prejudice, prejudging. So we experience that in so many different ways. So it was just fascinating for her to explain her lived experience of people who look at her and just judge her and just dismiss her as another fit, able-bodied person who is going to try and make them look like they do. You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts on that? And as always, if you'd like to join me on screen, this is the Freestyle where you can jump in. There's no guest scheduled for today. I just want to interact with you. Share your comments on that sense of people judging you based on your appearance and not knowing your lived experience, and how that can bring compassion to the work and help people that also battle what you're presently overcoming, right? So that's the thing that I was talking about with her, about how being a male implies world. I think it's just gonna be this killer workout, and I can't work with someone who is battling something or other, or challenged by certain things. So right, like, that's when you start to ask questions, listen, and just be there for them, right? Move anyway. What's going on? Is anyone going to Momentum Fest? I think Momentum Fest is happening in a few weeks. Or any other conferences that are coming up? Yes, Tammy. So Tammy, are you presenting there? Are you going, attending? I thought about attending, but I just had to really attend to my campaign this year. So I feel like I'm missing out on all those things. Gotta stay sharp in other ways, right? So the nice. I thought about that too. And even maybe next year I'll be there and just do like live on location with our core conversations and stuff like that. Studio applies to me saying, and mission I'm going to be an ambassador. I want to network. Networking is so key. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining us. So the podcast drop for this week is going to be this Carissa Floyd conversation, which is a 2-part conversation, and we cover like studio work. I almost like need to have her on to do a third element, because we talked studio and work. We talked about kind of our origin story in the next piece, and I want to spend some time talking about what's next. And even as Tam was saying about yes, embracing change, going live that's gonna be great. That'd be really good. Sorry, what you're saying about the networking. I was in Starbucks yesterday, and I was talking with a gentleman, and he was saying how his business is run on referral-based business for like the last 20 years. 700 followers on Instagram, 20 years in business. Obviously, he's doing something right. And the thing that he's doing right is not chasing popularity, he's chasing referrals, right? And just reading the comment here that Carrie is saying, Carissa, yes, she is lovely, great conversations. They were fun. They really were fun conversations and very insightful, and very like there's a maturity that comes from lived experience, right? And you see that just in the way that she talks about stuff, and really just gets it. Anyway, so back to the story on referrals. So this gentleman having a conversation in Starbucks, and he just basically does. Lost probably about $4 or $5 grand to referral thank you cards and gift cards for Starbucks and stuff like that. So anytime someone sends a client his way, in the mail that same day is a thank you card and a gift card for Starbucks. So by the time you stop and do the math, and that may sound like a lot of money, but if you have any kind of advertising budget proactively, this is the back end. So instead of it, you're getting more business and then sending in a thank you. And that's basically how he built his business. And just get referrals, because especially in like a marketing type business, you're only as good as your last project. We have the luxury of having clients for 10, 15, 20 years. I've had clients for 20 years because they're seeing the work and they're liking the results, right? So the fact that he does that, it's like, and Dervla, I think it is a great idea, because he basically said, like, at the end of the year, he probably spends about $6 grand on gift cards. But that's turned into so much big business and good referrals and stuff like that, that like it makes up for it in the money that's in the business that you generate from it. I have a box of thank you cards here. I think you can even get away with just sending the thank you card without the gift card in it, because people will be shocked to get something in the mail. Just getting stuff in the mail that's not a bill these days is a novelty enough. So if you're on a tight budget, spend that money on stamps. Physically put something in the mail as a thank you, and you're going to get an impressive, that'll impress people. As your business grows, then throw a $5 gift card in it, then a $10 gift card, then a $50 gift card, whatever it is, like do it, but start with something. I think a stamp and a letter in the mail that's not a bill is probably going to be enough to get people impressed with your work and to refer more people to you. That networking is cool. So how many of you out here have a referral network? Have a business, a friend, a colleague in another industry that just feeds you people all day long, or that you're feeding them people? I obviously have the luxury of being in the clinic here. I have people that I'm feeding, they feed me people, but outside of that, it'd be good to just out of curiosity, what do you guys have? Hi there, Sonia. Okay, so there's a comment here from Dervla. I'm more of a connector, connecting clients with each other. Like a dating service? Or do you mean like just like on a social level? Yeah, it's so funny. That happens too, right? Where they connect and then they start to do stuff outside and they build a network and they start working out together. They get another day, and yes, I know, it's just playing with your business. And I think that's cool. I think that when we get to a point where the community, you're cultivating community, then you're at a good spot. So yes, that connecting piece. Do you do events? Like what kind of things do you do to connect your people? Just to give those who are watching some suggestions, some different ideas. Hi Nicole. We were talking about referrals and networking. And Tammy said, I've kept my studio, so referrals from other clients. I've networked with other professionals. Yes. Yeah, that's key, right? So I mean, really, if you're doing this well, your referrals, should always continue to be coming in, but like you don't need to throw a massive net. You just need to take care of the people who are coming in and keep asking them for a referral, right? I find I need to get better at that. Just like find the language around that. So when people come in, do you know anyone? That blah 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 blah, whatever. So Leah Ham Pilates is saying we started a Christmas dinner with 5 clients. Now we visit galleries, take wine, wine testing and stuff like that, and feels great. I'll make introductions as they arrive. Depart sessions, send in emails to connect. No events such as that. Yeah, but that's true. Honestly, I like that doing that too. Those introductions as they arrive and depart. The next thing I need to do, Dervla, is to move into more of an open gym concept. Because I already have clients who are asking, can I come and work it out on my own, and that sort of thing. So like that concept of, you can come in on this day with the person you just saw, that Susan who works out just before you. You two are similar level, blah, blah, blah. Just start to match make amongst your clients, right? Like, send emails to connect, yes. Yeah. I think Dervla, you and I need to start by just doing a workout together. That still hasn't happened. I am just as guilty as everyone else. Like all of my Toronto people, I have not driven up to see any of you. Kara, Mr. Phils, you, Kara Fletcher's in Mississauga. I haven't seen her. I just need to do a tour. Before I see the world, I need to see Toronto in that way. For real. Make that happen. Maybe I should just start booking them. I think we might do that today. Just call people and just book stuff. I want to do Kara's classes. Will do. Purest survival mode is so true. I think when I was talking with this gentleman yesterday, you could hear that he was in survival mode through the pandemic, making the decision to keep his business open. Challenge me. I'm totally gonna do this now. I went on Amazon. Just generic thank you cards. Right? Just a standard, nothing in it. Have a box of them. It's so funny you say that. Like, I'm going to start doing this again just because we talked about it today. So thank you for growing my business, everyone, just by having this conversation. This is how we level up, right? Thank you, Adam. And we're done. Well, I hope that this was all as good for you as it was for me today, because now I have a new SOP for my business. And thank you, cards. Thank you, cards. It's been good to talk this out. Anyone want to join me on live? Like, I mean, if you want to jump on screen, you're more than welcome to jump in. But I am totally doing thank you, cards, Sherwin, today. Any other slick business ideas while we're at it? Because I think that was definitely something that we can do. Let me know if you end up doing the thank you cards, the ham Pilates. Tag me on that post if you make a post about it, and maybe that'll spark that for somebody else too. That's how we continue to sharpen ourselves, right? Yes. I'm going to bring Tammy on. Anyone else like to join us? You're more than welcome to. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm not upside down today, but I'm sitting outside. Can you hear, are the wind chimes annoying? Because I'll go inside.
No,
okay.
I can hear it now. I couldn't hear it before.
But if they're annoying, I'll go inside.
Okay, no, we're good. We're good. Right. So just reading this, guys. I have a great guy on Upwork today for help with Google Ads. Google Ads. Yeah, do you use Google Ads or any kind of like digital marketing stuff?
Right now at this point, I don't. I feel like I'm just really getting what I'm going to say a handle on like Instagram and on Facebook and on LinkedIn, because they're all so different. Right now, I have not paid. I do pay locally in a publication just to get my name out there. But it's hard to say if like most of the people that come to my studio have been referred. And I actually have a waiting list to get in because I'm only in the studio limited days. So I'm excited about that.
Yes, nice. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, it's interesting. Like even as like the guy was saying with his referrals and stuff like that. Like I've done that in the past, and I totally just let go of it. Right? Like you get to the point where you're too busy, and then you don't keep feeding that funnel of people, right?
Well, and I think it's important. I was like, as you were saying that, it's like, when you have guests come on to, your podcast, do you send thank yous to them? It's just an idea. I mean, I actually am in a few weeks. I'm going to have Carissa come on Embracing Change, Talking Through Trauma.
Great.
So I'm really excited about that. And it came about from me watching her on Instagram and then listening to her with you, that I just reached out to her. So.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. You can take people, like just go through every old core conversations and just
well,
just poach people like just
well, and I think too that sometimes when talking to people, you get I'm sure, and you know what I'm going to say, it's like you have connections with people on different levels, like with each conversation that you have, and you've made a lot of friends over the years. I know you have, because I've watched you for a long time now, Martin.
Yeah, it's true. It's such a blessing. Like I love those friendships, right? The people, I know people say like, I don't want any more friends because I can't take care of the friends I have, right? And I'm like,
out here meeting people like every single day, right? Like it's different.
I think it's different when you have relationships via like Instagram, but I feel like I know people like through, especially through COVID, I feel like there's people that know me better than people that live locally, other than my clients in the studio. So does that make sense when I say
Right.
that?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Those are those in between people, right? Like,
Yes, yes.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like we're talking about like Dervla is in Toronto, so she lives probably about half an hour from me. There's people, probably about 5 or 6 people that I've had on the show that live within an hour radius that I've never seen before in real life.
See, that's I mean, if you live in a community where you could reach, I mean, go like I don't know. I mean, but it takes time to get in the car and go and physically. That's the
Yeah,
beauty of doing Instagram or the beauty of doing, you know, Zoom and things like that. It's
Zoom.
just, I, yeah.
Yep, it's funny. Yeah. So anyway, so it's just interesting. Like those, it's interesting how the conversation has gone that direction. But like, I think I'm gonna take it with, uh, yeah, exactly. Implies she's saying with construction, it's probably longer than
Oh,
that too. Yeah.
construction's awful where I live too. That's terrible. It's
Yeah.
awful. So.
Well, is it to say the two seasons in Toronto are winter and construction? That's the
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much where I live too. It's the same thing
Yeah.
too as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Very
so
cool.
I
Um.
listened to. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Go
No. No.
ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I was going
There's a
to
bit of
say,
delay. So.
in listening to Carissa's conversation on Friday, especially about the analogy that she used about the pain, because I'm like you, or like bumping your elbow. Like I've had physical pain, but I'm not like you. I can't relate on that deeper level. Um, Emotional pain, that's something totally different. But I was going to say too that I think sometimes I am a little bit when I have clients that come in that I know have had um, like pain in their body. I tend to give them cues, but then I just step back and I just let them be. I don't ask as many questions,
Right.
and kind of
Yeah.
do more observation. Listen, I mean, obviously listening, but observing. Like, what's their face look like? Are they wincing in their faces and things like that? So
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Yeah.
I think that it's so unique to each instructor and what we
Yeah.
do because we're all coming. And that's what I think that, you know, when we all look at our, you know, our own, like, what is our whys and what is our, you know, what kind of clients are we attracting? You know, we're also
Yeah.
unique and different. So
Yeah. Right.
it's,
Hmm. I start to ask questions, even like side, you know, on one side of the body to the other, like doing exercises.
oh,
Like, how does that,
yes,
you
yeah.
know, that like within their body compared to their body, how does it feel, right? Like that sort of thing. I don't. Yeah.
And
Interesting.
I think that sometimes people, um, the like proprioception, interoception, you know, or even their felt sensation inside of their body emotionally, like, you know, describe to me how it feels and using words that they can. And a lot of times those kind of things will answer a lot of questions for me. If people say I'm
Yeah.
okay, you know, that's not really an answer, but it gives me an insight as to what they might be um, experiencing or lack of experiencing, especially from the
Yes.
emotional aspect of it.
Right. Or, but they're
So
tired of explaining yet again as the same issue as before.
this is true. This is very true, especially if they're brand new. Like if you've got
Yeah.
somebody that's been coming to you, like you said, your gentleman that's been coming to you for a long time. You know, I would be very disappointing, and I'm sure it came out in his movement patterns with you. If he was planning
Mm.
a trip and then something railroaded him that he couldn't go. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's also, um, it's hard. It's it's hard.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I think also that you were talking about support.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to talk about what kind of support do we have? Like, are you
Yes.
working with a mentor? I mean, like, you've got people that you're in a group, like in the gymnasium where you are, and you can like get support from back and forth from people like that.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
it's important, and I think, and everybody has it differently.
Hmm.
Coaching or other Pilates instructors, or that can be
Right.
of support to us, because
Right.
so much of what we do is, we're giving of ourselves so much that it's important that we take care of ourselves as well.
Absolutely. I received one of my clients is going to see a new osteo, and the osteo has a form that's kind of like a request to communicate policy. So what they did was he forwarded my information to them. When they do their assessment and stuff like that, they'll share their assessment with the client. So now we're collectively working on this client. So
Wow,
there's so that kind of thing too, right? So that she has a
that's
formal system
excellent.
of, I think it's excellent too. Exactly. So
Yeah,
he was
I
excited.
do.
He was really impressed with that. Where now he went to her, saw that. Now he's like, sweet, I'm going to stay with this person because they're going to be able to connect with you, and then collectively, you guys can figure out what's happening in my body. So that request to communicate form is what she's going to use, and anything that she does with him will be forwarded to me for me to read. And then if I have any questions, I can call her, and then we can strategize from there.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we should. That makes me think too. Like we should have something like that where we're leveling up our business to that point where it's a request from our side. Like we're the authority. We're going to consult with you on, you know what I mean, sort of thing. In the same way that she did it that way. So I think that's great. Yeah, it's a great experience for the client, regardless of what side it's initiated from. But to initiate from this side too may be helpful as well. Hmm.
I've had it happen a few times. Not, I mean, like where it's been where I like the physical therapist was actually in touch with me as well. So,
Yes.
but not in a formal way like you're talking about. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Man, give myself some homework today. That's,
but I think but when you think about, I mean, because we're supporting, excuse me, we're supporting our clients, but yet to have that, like
support for us.
the support for us as well. But I think honestly, Martin, I think that what you're doing, to me, it's like we're talking to other people, and so in a sense, it's like we're supporting the community, or I
Yep.
should say we. I'm basically saying you, but I think that even through the little that, no, not little, the times that I've been on Embracing Change, it's opening eyes, and it's just making people look at things in a different way, because
Yeah.
with Carissa, yeah, like through Carissa's conversation, or through like many conversations that you've had, it's just opened my eyes to look at things differently, and it's
Same.
just another perspective.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, yeah.
I'm going to read this comment here. Would you have a form in the studio to give to a client who has physical therapy, perhaps? Maybe not a form. I think just digitally, like if you just like a quest of like maybe just like a digital form or just an email that says like here's a request. Send this to your other professionals, so that we can have a dialogue and just work collaboratively. Like just have an email, like even just a form email set that I could just keep in my notes, copy and paste, and just, can you please forward this to whoever, so I can share it with them or they can share with
Yeah.
me, that sort of thing, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just digitally make it simple. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
There
So
you go. Thanks. Well, yeah, thanks for jumping on, Tammy. I'm gonna jump
that's
off here,
that's
and
okay. That's okay. Thanks.
yeah,
Have a great day. Thanks.
thank you
Uh-huh.
so much.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right,
Bye.
thanks so much. Yeah, cool. So I think all those little pieces are helpful, and I really appreciate you joining us for today. And we're back at it. I have a few guests this week, and I will get the posters up, and we're out. So get those thank you cards out, get those referrals based, and all those things, and it will be just another level to your business. So thank you guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. See you tomorrow.